school for Northwest Suburban Conference boys basketball. The snowstorm last week pushed us one back a few days, but we'll get it on for you tonight. Maple Grove visiting Armstrong here as we head down the home stretch of the regular season. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. And kind of interesting seasons for these two teams, Ryan. Armstrong kind of struggling to put it together. They've definitely got some ability. The record isn't always showing it, but I don't think anybody that plays them walks in thinking it's going to be an easy win against them either.
Well, it's not, because they're really talented. They're athletic. They can get up and down. They can defend really well. Their problem is, their coach told you before the game, is taking care of the basketball. But you look, a number of their losses this year, Jay, single digits to pretty good teams. So they're right there, and those teams are scary because if they do figure it out that particular night, they can beat anyone. And I think Maple Grove knows that. I think anyone that plays against them knows that. So I expect a really competitive game tonight.
Maple Grove 17-6 coming in. They've had some losses of late, but they were off to a very good start. They've got a veteran team, a well-coached team. They're not getting a lot of hype in terms of individual players, but just as a group, they're tough.
They are, and I'll tell you, Nick Schroeder, for me, is as good as anyone in the metro area. Doesn't matter what his talent is, if they're old, if they're young, he just finds a way to win 17 to 22 games a year, and they're always in it at the end of the year. And this is no different. You look at their scoring, no one stands out, right? They got two players in double figures, the rest at 8, 9. So they kind of do it by committee. They just smart basketball. They can shoot the basketball well. And again, I think Nick is having maybe his best coaching year he's had since he's been at Maple Grove.
Let's talk key players to look at in tonight's game, starting with the visiting Crimson and one of their guards who is leading them in scoring, the junior Henry Stang.
Yeah, over 12 points a game. He's a lefty. He's a very good shooter. He's smart. He doesn't take bad shots. And I think for them, if they're going to beat that upper echelon teams, the Park Centers, the Osseos, which they have played and beat, that high-level team, they need him to be in the high teens and the 20s. And he's capable. He's a great shooter, great scorer. They just got to find ways to get him good looks and do it early, especially when they're on the road.
And for Armstrong, we're going to talk about their talented junior guard, Seth Newbern. He was injured for most of the football season. Probably still a little slow going at the beginning of the basketball season, but he's kind of hit his stride now.
I feel like we've been talking about him for 3 or 4 years. I think he played as an 8th grader. A great athlete. He's just a tremendous athlete, and he's got a motor. He just doesn't quit. You'll see it tonight. He will get up and down the floor, attacks the glass. He's very capable driving. He's worked on his shot too. So averaging over 15, over 5 rebounds, over 2.5 assists, kind of does it all for this team. I'm excited to see him play.
All right, both teams wanting to get things ready to go for playoff time here as we're almost to the end of the regular season, and they're hoping to start on the right path tonight. A Monday night battle. It's Maple Grove and Armstrong. Boys basketball up next on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
And we're underway. Baseline jumper there won't go for Maple Grove's Henry Stang. It'll stay with the Crimson here as they get set to inbound from the baseline here. Raul Vaidia to inbound for Maple Grove. Stang will let it rip from the top, and it is good.
Well, 2 possessions and 2 good shots, right? He missed the first one. That time, nice underneath out of bounds. Got a second look, and you love the confidence.
Fitz Freeman with it at the edge now, going out to Drew Kemple. Not a whole lot of size on this Armstrong team. A lot of guards, and here's Desmond Ware coming to get it out top.
You talk about having good guards, quick guards. You can see the great spacing on the floor by Armstrong, and it really opens up driving lanes for him.
Freeman looking to attack against Lincoln Pelbicki, and the big man for Maple Grove secures that rebound.
Yeah, it's tough shooting over a 6'9" guy with a long wingspan too, and Freeman's got the athleticism. He's got length, but he's only 6'5". He's got to use that quickness against Pelbicki there and see if he can get good angles on him to create good shots.
Here's Pelbicki with that little jump hook in the lane, but left it short, and Freeman the rebound. Newbern looking to drive, drops it back off. Freeman, though, a little too strong with that jumper. They throw a double at Stang here, but didn't panic. Whitey, Pelbicki, and then back out. Brady Laliberte missing, and Ware trying to push it back the other way for Armstrong.
Yeah, good offense. They got a good look. You can see Pelbicki's a really good passing big guy, and he's got great footwork for how big he is.
Temple over to Owen Scram, their leading scorer and a great outside shooter, but that one wouldn't drop.
Yeah, Armstrong too. 3 times on the floor. They've had good shots. Just hasn't seen them go in yet, but that's what you love to see, is they're getting good attempts.
Vidia with the drive wouldn't fall for him. And so just one made bucket so far, that 3 by Henry Stang, and we stay at 3-0 Crimson. Ware to Newbern, cutting on the baseline. Little spin back the other way, and it wouldn't drop.
Well, and that's a win. I mean, Seth is 6'2", but he plays bigger than that. If you can get him fading away from the basket, that's much preferred. If he's going to the basket where he can use that athleticism, oh, great hustle.
Temple with the steal, got it ahead to Ware. The deflection was good, but the save was even better.
Love that kind of effort.
Scram getting into the lane. Oh, and Laliberte getting up for the block. Boy, he stayed right with that shooting hand.
Well, at 6'3", too, he's got some good length, able to challenge that. Excellent defense.
Pelbicki dumping it down low. Will Bowman, no good, but he was fouled.
And again, you can see Pelbicki, a big part of their offense. If he's not catching and trying to score, he's got great vision and touch as a passer. Yeah, this is just super good defense. You can see great length by Laliberte there. And to do it without bodying, right? Without getting any of that contact.
Bowman's free throw is good. I think no secret, the word on Scram is you want to make him put it on the floor. He's a great standstill jump shooter.
And contest.
Yep, and stayed not only contested, but got the block too. Bowman nails a pair of free throws, 5-0 Crimson. For both these teams coming in a Monday night, you know, you're not necessarily used to playing. It's a rescheduled game. I'm thinking you have to kind of create your own energy on a night like tonight too.
Yeah, and these guys, I mean, being that they're close to each other, they're both, you know, part of the, similar geography there. There's a 3. How about that? Stepping out. It's Freeman knocking it down. These guys know each other. They play against each other, so you got to create a little passion, a little energy.
Pelbicki gets it at the high post. Nice back cut and the layup for Bowman.
Yeah, really nice design play. You can see all the action coming away from the basket. Bowman with that preset back door, and again, Pelbicki with a great pass.
Deflection and ultimately the steal, and now here comes Stang. Laliberte driving into the defense, but Kempel up with the steal.
Yeah, I think he was trying to make the right pass there to Pelbicki, but good hands. Armstrong able to contest and get a steal.
Maple Grove by 4 here, 13:30 to go first half from Armstrong High School. Jay Wilcox, Ryan Iverson with you here as we wind down the regular season in boys hoops. Scram will pop and hit.
Well, you can see, I mean, he wanted that shot. He had great patience, a little jab with the ball screen. Just doesn't need a ton of space. He gets a shot off really quickly, but he is lethal from out there, and you can see why.
So Armstrong with an point. That'll be a blocking foul on Ware as he tried to cut off the dribbler. Subs now for the Falcons as they'll bring Navon Fields, number 2, in, along with number 5, Leroy Barnes, and number 21, Cade Berg. Idea looking into the middle, pretty good D that time. They cut it off. Now Stang from the top of the key, and he'll rattle home another, his second three.
Yeah, nice design play. It's a screen the screener. And they do a really nice job staying screening for Palbicki. The defense kind of hesitates for a second. He shoots right up the top of the key, gets a wide open look. Kind of a battle of shooters here early on.
And we've had 4 made threes already, 2 for each team. Even though the shooting overall was cold to begin, they're starting to knock some down. And that pass was kind of in the middle of everyone, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be a turnover and Crimson ball, and they're getting into what Coach Ware was talking about a little bit, really an unforced turnover.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see a lot with Armstrong right now. A lot is on the perimeter, right? And they got the quickness and the athletes to really drive to the basket. And you'd like to see some more north and south action.
Vidia, pull-up jumper, no good. Palbicki, the rebound, he scores. He wanted the tip in, but he had good enough hands that he stayed with it and just gathered himself and went back up to score it.
Well, and what you love to see when a big fella gets a rebound, they keep it high like that. Don't bring it down to where the guards can slap at it. He kept it high, finished before anyone could get there.
Berg picks up that dribble, now bring it out.
Again, a lot of things, behind the three-point line. There you go. You got to get some of that dribble action to the basket.
Wouldn't quite fall for Barnes, but they'll get another crack at it. Here's Fields from the corner, and there's another three.
Well, instant offense just got into the game a minute ago, but that was all made possible by Cade Berg with that offensive rebound and great vision. Finding Fields, it knocks down another three. Some hot shooting here by both teams.
Maple Grove up by 3, down to Palbicki, had it blocked, and then blocked again. Crimson wanted a foul, they don't get it. And then Fields, as he drove into the lane, was tripped up. And we'll get a foul call going against Vidia.
Well, and the difference was that time you saw, Palbicki brought the ball down. And when you're 6'9", and you keep it high, there's just not many people that are going to be able to jump that high to grab at it. But you bring it down and you allow people that are 6 foot, 6'1", to get their mitts on it.
Gannon McGuire, number 20 now in for Maple Grove. Newburn has returned to the lineup for the Falcons, along with Ware. He fumbled it just a little bit, so he brings it back out top to restart. Tried to go to Newburn, Stang denying that pass.
That's great defense, because if he gets it down there, he's a load to deal with.
Ware missing, a couple of guys hitting the deck there. Ware stops to help out Bowman to help him up. Vidia firing from the wing, and that's good for 3.
He's having a heck of a year, scoring just under 10 a game. Great passer, steals, kind of runs the show. He's a very good shooter. How about that pass and trust, just knowing where your teammate is going to be, kind of get stuck in the air, but that's just repetition and experience playing together.
Berg unable to get that one to drop. Vidia pushing the attack back the other way for the Crimson.
Pace kind of picked up here too in the last minute or two.
Yeah, it feels like everybody kind of got the rust off and they're back and ready to go. Infall there from McGuire, but they'll get another crack.
You shoot threes, you get a lot of long rebounds.
And too aggressive there. Newburn trying to get up and rake that ball out of there. He's called for the foul instead. 3rd team foul against the Falcons. In now for Maple Grove, Edwin Dorber. Also Herpu Anbasa, number 1. So both teams kind of getting everybody in that they expect to play here, which, you usually see that. You don't want somebody sitting for a really long time and then expecting to come in and be effective.
No, I like that. Get them in, even if they're not in for a long period of time. Just let them get some action, get their feet wet. Then everyone feels a part of the game, and at some point you're going to need critical minutes from your bench, and you want to have them already with that game experience.
McGuire will bring it back out top. They rotate it around to Stang, driving it now over to Palbicki. He's got a big size advantage on Kempel, and he's going to be called for the travel.
Oh, I did not see a travel there.
Checking back in the game for the Falcons, Freeman.
Having Palbicki is kind of a nice little bailout, isn't it? When you get stuck in the air, you he can throw it up, and you know where the big fella is going to be. I thought that just looked like some good dribbling, good post moves. I did not see the steps.
Newbern will fire it up in the wing, and that is good for 3. Boy, both these teams, as we said, didn't start out shooting very well, but now all 4 of Armstrong's baskets are 3s.
Yeah, by 4 different players too, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a part of Seth's game I think he's really improved on.
McGuire the miss. Here's Ware. Scram will let that one go, and it's good, and we're tied up.
Smart basketball. You get into the paint, you know where your shooter is. Maple Grove has to have an awareness on Owen Scram because he doesn't need much time or much space, and he is just deadly from there.
Stang turning it over. Ware. Armstrong trying to take its first lead. Here comes Newbern. Tried to dunk, but couldn't quite reach it. Ware down the lane with that left-hand floater again. Missed it.
You got numbers here.
Ooh, there's Stang. He didn't know Ware was coming behind.
Nice
nice over to Palbicki. The layup's good.
Great hands, great pass too, and I like Stang. He's really showing shot. He's getting that defender to kind of leap a little bit, getting into the lane, and very unselfish.
Scram on the cut and off the window.
Yeah, not an easy look either. Kind of a tough angle. Throw it up there off that glass, but he's really scoring the ball well this year.
Yeah, and he's added some things to his game too. I mean, I think he knew, like everybody knew, that the word is, he's a shooter, but
take that away, and he's limited, and he's showing the ability there to get to the rim and to finish on different types of shots.
And Vasa left wide open, missed it. Palbicki almost had the rebound, but then Scram out of there. Kemple will give it to Newbern. Armstrong again trying to take the lead.
Jay, we didn't talk about how about that Seth Newbern dunk attempt though, huh? That would have been something.
Yeah, I was caught off guard. I didn't think he was even close to.
I thought he was going to lay it in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's part of you that's like, get the 2 points, but then there's a part of you that's like, God, you love the athleticism and the determination to play at the rim.
Vidia checking back in here for the Crimson. Also in for Maple Grove now is Josh Femright, 22.
Yeah, and see how they play without, Palbicki in there. I think, he averages 10.5, but I think he's a really focal point of their offense, and knowing he's in there gives those guys a ton of confidence.
Freeman denying Vidia. And off the glass and good there for Fields. And Armstrong will surge into the lead. Nice control there to stay with that one despite taking the bump.
Yeah, doing it with your, going left like that and finishing with your right hand with the contact takes good concentration and good touch. Fields giving him some nice productive minutes here and some good scoring off the bench.
Yeah, he's got 6 points, and Armstrong now leading by 3. Vidia nearly turned that one over. And it's going to be out off of an Armstrong foot. Their student section sitting right over there, they were sure it was going to be the other way.
I can't believe they didn't agree with that call,
Vidia getting into the lane, but then cut off. Around the horn, Vidia an open look, wouldn't drop, and rebounded there by Barnes. Barnes, too hard off the glass there. Vidia to the floor, timeout taken by Maple Grove.
Great effort. Vidia plays with just great effort. I'll tell you, I like both of these teams defensively, right? They do a nice job of challenging and contesting shots without over fouling. And tonight, we've just seen some really good offense, good drives. Rather than forcing it, kicking it out, finding open shooters, both teams have shot the ball very, very well. Yeah, neither team, there's a look at Nick Schroeder. Can't believe he's in his 13th season already. He's progressed from a young man, now he's an old man. They're doing a heck of a job. I'm really proud of the program he's built and the job he's done here. And the thing I always love is you talk to some of his players, they all love him, they adore him. And it's been fun to watch him develop and become a really, really well-rounded coach.
Both of these guys, we did their high school games.
That's crazy.
Robert Ware at Brooklyn
So if
Center.
I'm calling them old, what does that make you, Jay?
Yeah. I didn't want to. I mean, it's kind of, you can do the math and figure it out. Nick at Osseo, of course, and Rich Ware at Brooklyn Center. Scram. Now back out to Berg. Armstrong by 3 into field. Oh, and he just couldn't finish. It'll be out off Maple Grove, though, and Armstrong will get it back.
Yeah, even though he didn't make that great cut by Fields, and he still stuck with it there, fighting for that, and able to maintain possession here.
Berg inbounding to Kemple, now Scram. Berg on the drive, and he'll give it back. Kemple faking the 3, now a runner, and it's good.
Yeah, not much of a score, just over 2 points a game, but you can tell good, smart basketball player, does all the little things well, but that was a heck of a move and great touch.
Yeah, he's a good football player, and he's kind of the screener, rebounder, defender kind of guy.
Do all the dirty work, but helps you win games. You know, every good team has one of those kind of players, and they can give you some points, especially great moves like that. That's a plus.
Baseline jumper wouldn't go for Bowman.
And Maple Grove, after starting out really hot, has missed the last few threes here. They're getting good looks, though.
Yeah, they had the lead for a good chunk of this first half, and now Armstrong's passed them up for the moment.
Oh, nice hesitation.
Barnes with that left-hand scoop layup.
Yeah, he's only listed at 5'10", but doesn't he look longer than that? He's got really long arms. He took about one dribble, and he was at the hoop there. Great move.
Well, Alberti was not going to take no for an answer there. That was an aggressive attack.
Nice little up and under. Great footwork, again, doing it without traveling.
Five-point Armstrong lead. Barnes, a little hesitation dribble, and then cross-court to Berg for an open 3.
Guys, it's almost automatic when a guy gives up a good shot for a great shot. I thought Barnes maybe had another layup there, but kicked it out, and Berg wide open look. Great pass, great offense.
Vidia, the drive and dish. You get the feeling that Armstrong's like feeding on each other, seeing the ball go in for a teammate, and they're just feeling confident now shooting these threes.
It's crazy how the confidence spreads, especially when you start making extra passes, and it becomes really contagious.
And I feel like on your home court where you practice every day too, that's more likely to happen.
You're used to the rims, the feel of it. You got your home crowd behind you too.
Vidia, spin move there, but pretty solid defense. Now he goes with the cut, but Kemple with the block.
Didn't we say he does all the dirty things? The defense, the blocks, the rebounding. Good look.
He tried to go across to Berg, and it went out off Maple Grove.
Yeah, Armstrong, I think defensively, and you know, Coach Ware talked about it too. He's like, we've been playing really well defensively. We struggled taking care of the ball. In the last 7 minutes or so, Jay, they haven't turned it over. They've gotten great looks. They're making it. And you can see defensively here, they've held Maple Grove scoreless here for a while.
And Kemple at about 6'2" as a post guy, and not a lot of blocks. There's the alley-oop for Newbern.
Great design play. That's as a coach, when you design a play like that and you see it executed and run to perfection, you love it.
Stang, that one partially blocked. Armstrong up 10 and looking to add to it. Newbern with the layup.
Yeah, and I can tell, I mean, the confidence, they're starting to run now, they're finishing. They're hitting from the outside, great passes. They've had an assist on almost every basket. You just love what they're doing offensively.
Vidia to Palbicki and then cross to Stang. Keep it moving. Maple Grove right now trying to, you don't want to panic or anything, but things not going their way in the last few minutes. Palbicki stays with that one.
And that's why he's so critical to them. Even if they don't run a lot for him, you drive, your defender comes over to help and frees him up for those offensive rebounds. He's got those long arms. Great hands, too, able to catch that and finish.
Newburn, little fadeaway there as he bounced off of Stang, but couldn't hit it. Lydia, pull-up jumper in the lane, and that one's good.
It's such a game of momentum, isn't it? Armstrong just stole it away from Maple Grove, and you get some of your starters back in the game just like that. 2 buckets. Good timeout here by Coach Ware. Fun game so far.
Yeah, well played after we said a little bit of a slow start, and we expected that, but the teams have really gotten it going. And for Maple Grove, I think that was a good sequence there where you, like we were saying, all of a sudden nothing's going their way. You're on the road, the other team's hot, and then you chip away at it.
Yeah, and clean play too, right? Not a ton of fouls called. There's that alley-oop play. Perfectly thrown too. Got to give credit to the passer on that. Fitz Freeman threw it up perfectly. Something tells me he might be used to catching some of those too.
Checking in the game.
That's a fun feeling that I only got to experience maybe 4 times, is going up and catching it and throwing it down like that. And there's a look at Coach Robert Ware, second season. You talk about a good player. I remember seeing him play in some summer leagues. He was a competitor. He's done a great job here with this program. Get to coach his son, Israel. That's nothing better than that.
Scram steps out and nails a 3. His third 3 has 11 points.
And that's great coaching. Out of the timeout, a set play, a little elevator screen. Scram, a great shooter, comes right up the middle there. They kind of close it off so the defender can't get through. He gets a good look. He is such a good shooter.
Becky had it knocked loose on the way up.
Nice pass.
Newburn and was fouled by Vidia. Newburn wanted another dunk there. Vidia thought he might have had a clean, if not steal, at least deflection.
Desmond Ware. Right there. It didn't look like he saw him, and then he kind of went to his left hand, a little one-handed throw. Great pass ahead. And Armstrong, they have, like we talked about, they have those athletes and the quickness to get out and run, and they can finish as good as anybody.
In the game for the Crimson, number 20.
8 points now for Newburn. One more free throw coming. His team up by a dozen against Maple Grove team that's won 17 games coming in. I think it's fair to say they probably would be the favorite coming into tonight, but it hasn't necessarily looked like it so far.
Well, you said it in our pregame, Jade. Armstrong's a team no one wants to play, right? Even if their record isn't great. Here's a little half-court trap, too. I like just switching it up a little bit.
Ooh, nearly had a steal, but then Aliberte getting it over there for Jacob Anderson for his first bucket.
You can beat them, but if you get them going, you can see they got shooters, they got guard play, they got athleticism. They kind of have it all. It's not an easy out for anybody.
11-point lead here for Armstrong. Here's Freeman at the edge of the lane. And kick back out. Newburn looking to attack. Now Freeman will pop that jumper from the wing, no good. And Maple Grove will get a chance to bring it back into single digits here. Let's see if they might play for one shot. Anderson to Stang. And he gets it right back. He'll take that 3. And it ends up in, but won't count as it hit the basket support. And an unfortunate break there for Stang as that ball bouncing straight up and into that support. So 14 seconds to go. Armstrong by 11, and now it looks like they'll get to take the last shot. We'll be hearing from the coaches at halftime with Ryan here. Drive, and that pass deflected into the, they're saying Maple Grove ball. Which the officials, he pointed the wrong way. I think it was pretty obvious that it was out off of Maple Grove. So 3.9 to go. Armstrong will get an inbound from the baseline. Yeah, I think it was, he knew whose ball was, just a case of pointing in the wrong direction. They want Scram in the corner, but well defended. And no good on the shot. Credit Aliberte there for some solid D on that one. However, very good first half here for the home team as Armstrong lighting it up in this first half and leading a good Maple Grove team by 11 at 36-25 here at our halftime break. Still plenty of basketball to go, but so far so good for the Falcons. Let's go down to Ryan with Coach Ware.
Coach, Monday night played Maple Grove, up 11 at half. You had to be really pleased with how your team played there.
Definitely. Our goal is to try to limit our turnovers. That's been big for us this year. But we feel like our defense and offense has been getting better, and it's going to be a dogfight here.
Well, defensively, I thought you guys were great. Contested everything without fouling, but I think you have everything offensively. You got shooting, you got athletes, you can get up and down. What's it going to take to finish this one off?
Same as the first half. Limit our turnovers, look to push it on them, and then keep knocking down shots that are open, trusting each other.
The big question, everyone that watches knows you used to be a heck of a player back in the day. Do you still take it to these guys during practice?
You know what? I leave that for the assistant coaches. I don't want to get hurt.
No torn Achilles.
Nope, exactly.
Good luck in the second half. Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Ryan, and thanks to Coach Ware. His team playing probably one of their better halves of the season, I would have to venture to say here. 36-25 Falcons at halftime. We'll have first half highlights and then hear from Coach Schroeder as we continue our coverage of Northwest Suburban basketball on CCX. Welcome back here to Armstrong in the student section for the Falcons. Enjoying this one so far. Their team leading at 36-25 as we check out some highlights from the first half of action here as the Falcons and Maple Grove doing battle.
Yeah, started out just shooting the heck out of the basketball.
Yeah, Stang knocking one down early. Then a great block there by Lalaberte for the Crimson. But Freeman helped to start getting going.
He was the first one to kind of take that lid off. There's a great backdoor cut and pass by the big fella.
Maple Grove had the lead for a good chunk of the half, but then Armstrong just kept scoring, and Maple Grove went into a little bit of a drought. So Vicky stayed with that one after trying to tip it in, but just a variety of people making threes for Armstrong. I'm going to have to guess that they haven't been hitting quite like this all the rest of the season, or they wouldn't have the record they do.
No, really shooting the ball well, but they're getting good looks, and they're making that extra pass. And when one guy makes that extra pass, this was a great drive, taking the contact and finishing. They had a great mix of shooting from the outside. They attacked in transition. Here was that design play, the alley-oop with Seth Newbern going way up there, throwing it down. Good half, fun half to watch.
Yep, Stang with 6 and Pelbicki 6 for the Crimson. Vidia with 5, and the top two scorers have been the top scorers all year for Armstrong. Scram with 11 and Newbern 9. Fields good off the bench with 6. We will come back with more of our coverage here of Northwest Suburban boys basketball on CCX. Armstrong leading Maple Grove 36-25.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Armstrong. Let's go down to Ryan with Coach Schroeder.
Hey, Coach, down 11 at half. What'd you tell the guys there at halftime?
Our main focus is defense right now. We gave up 36 points in the first half. That's just too many points. Guarding an athletic dribble drive team like Armstrong, we're doing a poor job of keeping the ball in front of us, bottom line. And that's allowing when it comes out, their shooters to get their feet set and shoot the ball. So We have to control dribble penetration much better in the second half if we want a shot at this. If we do, I think we'll be there.
Offensively, anything particular you're looking for?
No, I just think we just need better energy. We're getting to the lane. I think we need to see the next pass after we get there, and if we can do that, we'll get good shots.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks for your time. Yep. Back to you, Jay.
Thank you, Ryan, and thanks to Coach Schroeder there, as he's been at it for a while here, is not panicking when they're down 11. I know he wasn't terribly happy with that first half, though, and that's the thing. There's always two sides to the coin. For Armstrong, you're saying, gosh, we're doing everything well. We're getting into our offense. We're shooting the ball. But if you're the opposing coach, you're saying, well, we're making it too easy for them. We need to do some things to take them off their game and not give them those clean looks. I don't think it's a stretch to say that Armstrong probably played a little above their head in that first half, the way they shot the ball. We'll have to see if they're able to continue that into the second half here, and Maple Grove is obviously hoping that isn't the case. And there were, if you'd asked halfway through the first half, they would have said, yeah, we're doing everything pretty well. But Armstrong, as we said, just kept on doing what they wanted to do offensively a little more. And that's, as Nick just told you, Ryan, defensively is where they weren't feeling the greatest. I think they want to make Armstrong work harder for their shots.
Well, and I think a couple things. One, Owen Scram getting 3 or 4 good looks, right? There's no excuse for that. He's a great shooter. You got to have an awareness. The other thing is I think Armstrong defensively, they're contesting, rebounding, and it's allowed them to get out and run. And they've got, 6 to 10 points in transition, too. And you add those up, and that's really what the difference in the game is.
Here we go in half number 2, Ware bringing it to the front court here for Armstrong. Now, sometimes when you have such a great first half, you almost wish there hadn't been a halftime break, and you hope you haven't kind of lost your mojo from that opening half.
Yeah, and I always think, too, when you're down on the road, these first couple minutes a half are huge, right? You come out, can you steal a couple possessions, get that lead down to 5-6 points, and then you get the momentum back.
Graham giving it up to Newbern here. Armstrong a patient possession. They go into Freeman. Kalbicki almost came over the top there. Scram down to the corner. That's an air ball.
And for most people, you'd probably say not a good shot, but we've seen him hit threes, but not very much time and space. So for him, might be a good shot.
Lydia comes back out to get it here for the Crimson. Idea dumping it down low, and Palbicki with an easy 2 after they got a good screen to free him up.
Yeah, good patience, some good movement, good action. And if I'm Maple Grove, I like that. Playing around Lincoln Palbicki there. He's got that great size. No one on Armstrong can challenge those.
Ware missing on the drive. Now Laliberte going to the baseline. Let's see, and that one thrown away. Ware tried to get it but couldn't. So it just sails out. It'll be Armstrong ball.
Well, 2 things. One, when you drive baseline like that, you don't want to leave your feet. And 2, if you're the guard on the weak side, you got to start shedding down to the baseline to be an outlet for him.
Newbern to the top, and now Ware. Scram. Bouncing off the defender a little bit, missed it. Palbicki the rebound.
And he had to fade a little bit to create the space, but I think the length of Laliberte is kind of bothering him on those mid-range. We saw him get a block in the first half, and he's challenged a couple of the other ones.
And here's Brady firing one up of his own, but Newbern grabs the miss. Both teams have done a pretty decent job on the defensive board. We haven't seen a whole lot of offensive rebounds and putbacks, a few here and there, but Temple driving in, and then a steal by Palbicki. Really nowhere to go there. They're kind of letting him play, too. There have been a couple times where you might say, well, was he bumped on that pass? But unless it's real obvious, they're letting him play through it.
Which I think most people appreciate that, and especially if it's consistent both ways, which I think it has been.
Back cut here, but Freeman got a piece of that pass, or that would have been an easy 2.
I'll tell you what, smart job by Ware, realizing not to attack a 6'9" defender. Instead, slow it down, get your offense set, get a set action here out of it.
Freeman looking for Scram, but Laliberte knocked it away. Now Vidia pushing the tempo.
Back to Pelbicki, a little jump hook. Another try, and he was fouled.
Yeah, and Coach Schroeder at half is just saying our defense, we got to defend better. Well, you can see here early on in the half, nothing easy for Armstrong. They've held them scoreless, and it's allowed them, even though they haven't played that great offensively to start the half, at least it's allowed them to cut into that lead.
Pelbicki's free throw good. He has 9 in the game now, and the Crimson back to within 8 as Jacob Anderson reporting in.
I haven't seen a lot of Jacob Anderson tonight. Of course, outstanding football player, outstanding football year, great athlete.
Going to be getting their championship rings Friday night, it sounds like. So, got the banner.
We didn't even
up.
have rings back in when I won them, Jay. Nothing but VHS tapes. Oh,
and there's Newbern popping a 3.
His second one. I told you he's worked on it, and you can see a nice form, great release, good arc. He's a very capable shooter. If he's knocking those down, he really becomes a complete player.
Back out to Stang,
nice.
Stepping inside and gets the bounce.
I love that. Rather than force a contested 3, great patience. You can see he just plays with really good poise. Nice, easy, takes a mid-range pull-up, which you just don't see much anymore.
Scram stepping into a 3, and it's no good. Pelbicki the rebound.
And Maple Grove lucky there. You give Scram an open look like that, he's going to knock it down more often than not.
Stang coming free, and he will hit from the top, and now it's Maple Grove's turn to get a little momentum going. They're within 6. Timeout, Coach Ware.
Well, and that's why that mid-range, the play before, I think was so key. You get an easy look, you see the ball go in, then as a shooter, now when you got an open look from deep, you're confident, you're in rhythm, you've seen the ball go in, and he knocks it down.
Well, we got a Coach Ware for Armstrong, Coach Ware from Park Center.
Yeah.
We saw him coming here to scout a little bit tonight too. They had a kind of a shocking loss to Elk River the other night.
I had to tease him when I saw him. I said, what the heck are you doing losing to Jay's alma mater of all teams too? No, Elk River has a good team. They play hard. I think everyone was a little shocked. But if I know Coach Ware like I think I do, I'm guessing he used it as motivation and practice, and I would be willing to bet that next few times they're out on the court that his guys will have no letdown.
It's not easy to go through a season undefeated, and
really
I don't think it's such a bad thing to kind of just get that out of the way. And
you get their attention right now. And you always are preaching. You respect every opponent. Well, they're young high school kids. Sometimes they don't always do that. So you get their attention that way. It's a loss. It certainly doesn't hurt them. So yeah, I'm with you.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Schroeder. There's Barnes with the floater. No good. Offensive foul. I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Schroeder at halftime kind of brought that up to his kids a little bit too. I mean, they can see that Armstrong was 8 and 15 coming in, and said, you got to respect every opponent here too.
Yep. Nice job. I couldn't tell if that was Vidia or if that was Anderson that took that charge. But a great job sacrificing your body.
Vidia, an open look here, and he will hit.
Kind of contagious like we saw in the first half for Armstrong. See a couple fall. And just like that, Maple Grove right back into this game.
Yeah, they've closed the gap in a hurry. Armstrong's only scored 3 points. That 3 by Newbern is all they've got in this half. So Maple Grove now to within 3. They were down by 11 at halftime. Fields the drive and dish. Barnes going to shoot up a 3 here, and it's no good. And I was kind of saying coming back into the half that Armstrong, I mean, realistically, they probably weren't going to continue hitting 3s at the pace they did in the first half. It's just kind of, statistically you would figure that. Not as a defensive team, not that you just cross your fingers and hope for that. You want to make them work harder to get shots.
Yeah, and if you're Armstrong too, remember, if you can get out and push the ball a little bit, you got great quickness and athleticism too. I thought that was critical in the first half. They need a big play here, like a dunk or a cool play, something to kind of spark their momentum and their energy level here.
Little double high screen for Ware.
Nice finish, good move.
Bumped on the shot attempt, and he will shoot free throws. Vidia will be called for the foul.
Yeah, we saw Ware, we saw Fields in that first half, that hard drive to the right, or to the left, excuse me, and finishing with their right hand, taking the contact.
Vidia picked up his third right there, and we're still fairly early in the second half. Something to keep an eye on. Ware getting his first point right there. And Dorber will come back in as Palbicki will get a breather.
And remember, too, in the first half, Jay, Maple Grove was up. Palbicki came out, and that's when Armstrong really kind of got on their run offensively.
Ware's free throw good again. So Armstrong's lead back to 5 now, 41-36. They played a superb first half. Maple Grove's closed the gap in a hurry, though, in the second. Vidia whipping it down low. Dorber kind of lost his balance. He stayed his pivot foot down low.
Nice pass.
Gets it back, blocked by Berg, and then it's off of Dorber's foot.
I'll tell you, Kate Berg's had a nice game off the bench here. Hit a 3 in the first half. Defensively, he's been outstanding. That time, again, getting the block, but without, no body contact. Yeah, nice pass there by Jacob Anderson. And again, just straight up, that verticality.
I was going to say, I think that was a good no call. At first, I wasn't so sure.
You thought body, but you can see he was straight up and down. And like we talked about, I think these refs are letting some calls go. And there's those turnovers that Coach Ware was harping on, right? You got a little momentum back now. You got to get a good possession there. Unforced turnover, unforced error.
Vidia fouled by Newbern. That'll be his second.
Yeah, pretty clean game, with other than, Vidia with 3, really no foul trouble anywhere. We haven't really even approached the bonus for either team in the first half or here. That's refreshing. My son Max, plays varsity for Delano, and there was a game a couple weeks back, Jay, where there was like 49 fouls called, and it was just, there's another turnover. Again, Armstrong defensively has been really, really solid. But when you have that many foul calls, it's like no one gets into a rhythm. You're shooting free throws every other possession. So I much prefer this type of called game.
And I think it isn't where one team or the other benefits a lot from a game being called, this way or whatever either. Sometimes you see where it is, and Barnes was fouled on the way up, where you clearly one team wants it to not be called close and the other does or whatever. I don't really get that sense in this game.
Yep, fair both ways there. Fortunate the miss may be a little worse than they thought, but Barnes in right position.
It was hard to tell on that second one, but Barnes right away reacted like, hey, I got hit pretty good there, and because the shot didn't end up being close. Anderson picked up the foul, by the way, for the Crimson.
Look at Barnes got that nice basketball body, 6'2", strong, long. Giving him some good minutes here tonight.
Freeman will come back in for Armstrong. Palbicki for Maple Grove here. A 6-point lead for Armstrong. They were up 11 at half. And then the second half started with mostly Maple Grove doing its work, but Falcons have settled in a little bit more now. Stang looking to Anderson, and now Laliberte down low. Palbicki was all alone.
Man, they've ran that a bunch tonight, and they're kind of reversing the ball in the perimeter with screens for Palbicki, just kind of following the action of the ball, and they stayed with it. He's gotten a couple of nice looks out of doing that. It's good action.
Freeman in and out from the top.
About to say his second 3 of the game. That was halfway down.
Anderson will shoot a 3, and he hits. Crimson within 1.
Again, good offense. You push the ball in transition all the way down to the baseline, and a nice kick out to Anderson. Knocks down his first 3 of the game, and just like that, we got a ball game, Jay.
Here's a little thing that can't overlook too is just the good crisp passes, not where the ball's not taking a while to get there and floating, so you're ready to shoot it and then catch it in rhythm and just let it fly.
And as a shooter, that makes a big deal when you can catch it in rhythm as opposed to bending down or it gets you off your spot. And I'll tell you something else to keep an eye on. Every time Coach Ware has called a timeout, Armstrong has come out with a set action and gotten a really good look. They've gotten a 3 for scram off of it. They got the alley-oop to Newburn. So let's see if Coach Ware here can draw some magic up and if they can't get a really good look out of this timeout.
Yeah, a lot of times you think about that you're stopping momentum of the other team, and that's part of it. But you also want your timeouts to be productive in that regard too, and obviously same for Coach Schroeder.
And this is where coaching in high school really matters, Jay, is I think underneath out of bounds, side of bounds, if you can get one bucket out of each of those and then maybe 1 or 2 buckets out of a set play, out of a timeout, in these close games, that's 6 to 8 points. That's the difference, right? And Coach Ware has been great at drawing them up here tonight. Let's see what they have.
Armstrong's lead has been trimmed to 1.
And you know, we obviously don't keep track of plus minus in high school. It's that stat, but you think with Palbicki on the floor, Maple Grove, their plus is so much higher. Even if he's not necessarily showing up in the box score, I think just having his size and body out there is a big confidence boost.
Now they get it to Newburn. He looked like he was open earlier on that baseline cut. Kept possession, fought through the reach, and able to score it.
What he played with there was great patience. He probably could have shot right away, forced it. Even on his spin to the middle, he kind of hesitated. The defense kind of went by him. He was able to get a really good look. That was a great set.
McGuire lobbing it toward Palbicki. They were not quite on the same page. Palbicki was starting to cut. Yeah. Nick Schroeder kicking the floor there.
Well, it's the right idea because they're cheating that screen, right? They've seen it coming, so it's the right idea, but you got to be on board, a little eye contact so that he knows it's coming before he starts cutting across the lane like that.
And that's what sometimes people don't realize, too, is that the greater distance there is to make that pass, the more that can go wrong.
Yep.
Here's Newburn again. They want him on the post against Stang. Scram really being hounded.
That's been a good matchup, hasn't it? Yeah. No open looks.
Ware off the glass too hard, and then McGuire out of there with it. Crimson can tie it with a 3, down 44-41, a little over 9 to go. Good ball game here, a Monday night game. Again, it was rescheduled from last week. Thursday we were supposed to televise. Glad we could fit this reschedule in too.
And that's where you want to see Publicki gather himself, get low, and really jump, explode up. At 6'9", there's not many people that can defend it if he leaps on that. But a nice job, I thought, by Freeman contesting that, again, without falling.
Ware whipping it back. Kempel's going to shoot that 3, and he hits.
Why not? He's got 6 now, right? 6, or did he get a lay? He hit one earlier, too. And again, we talked about it, one of those guys that kind of does everything. If you can get some scoring and knock down jump shots out of it, that's pretty exciting. Nice.
There's Stang with a nice drive and off the glass and good.
He just plays at such a nice pace. Always in control. You never feel like he's out of control.
We're looking to Coach Ware on the bench here. His team up by 4 as we go under 8 to play. Ooh, Newburn, let's see. We're going to have an offensive foul on Kempel on the screen, I think, or is it Freeman?
It might be Freeman. Yeah, you're going to see a little bit of that hip kind of sliding out, trying to catch him. And a nice job, too, by Stang, maybe selling it a little bit, too. And that's something that referees always look for, those moving screens.
And when it's out top of the key like that, it's so easy to see,
yeah,
too.
Everyone's kind of watching, and, yep, absolutely.
Baidia to Palbicki. Nice little give and go there.
That's just a great set action again. Guard comes from the low block, screens Palbicki at the free throw line. He slides down and tell you what, that pass is what made it. He led him right to the basket.
Anderson hounding Newbern. Newbern flipping it up. Won't get the call. Then knocked away by Freeman, though. And then taken back by Vidia. Whipping the pass over, and Aliberti was fouled. I think it'll be Kemple who will pick it up for one of the first times of the game where things were getting a little chippy there, but Kemple right away said didn't mean to do it there.
No, that's what those were. Fitz Freeman, great job stealing the ball away from Palbicki, but just holding on to it. Get your team set up, get a good shot out of it. Instead, a tip leads to a turnover and transition.
So look, as Newbern tried to squeeze between them, and then.
And that's where if you're Maple Grove, you got to tell your big fella guy's coming so he can chin that. Tough pass, too, on the transition, able to get it through there. And we're back to one. Tied up now. We're tied up. Timeout, Maple Grove.
7:16 to go, and Crimson scoring 4 straight here to make it 47 apiece. Armstrong got Champlain Park coming up tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and then Centennial to close out the regular season. And meanwhile, for Maple Grove, they have got they're at Rogers on Tuesday night, but then Friday night they host Park Center, top-ranked Park Center.
Yeah, I think that's why Coach Ware was here scouting a little bit. And it's always, not always ideal to play back-to-back nights, right? But you got to fit in because of that weather last week. We always talk about, too, you obviously want to win every game, but the goal is you want to just be playing your best as you go into the playoffs, right? You want to be peaking, you want to have everyone healthy, everyone knowing their roles, everyone, playing to the best that they can, and that's always really important.
And I think the coaches, the longer they've been around, they realize a lot of those things more.
When you're young, you want to win everything. You'll play every guy for the full 36, 38 minute, whatever it is. But yeah, as you get older, you realize, no, if we maybe lose this game, or maybe we don't play as well, or maybe I don't show them my best play right now, you save some stuff for that postseason. See, Maple Grove getting physical, too. They're checking everyone off those screens, too. They're being very physical defensively. Nothing easy.
Kemple going to turn and face up against Palbicki, and he knocks it down. That's some kind of bonus offense from him.
Yeah, averaging, like I said, just over 2. It was funny. He kind of turned. He wanted to see what Palbicki was going to do, and he realized his arms were down. Able to get the shot off and knock it down. Showed some really nice shooting touch tonight. Yeah, there's that patented, those baseline screens, trying to get Palbicki open. They run a screen, the screener out of it. Armstrong doing a pretty nice job here defending it.
Yeah, Fields helped out. I mean, he's small, but he stayed in the way enough. Here's Vidia, pull-up jumper, no good, and Scram the rebound.
Yeah, good contest by Fields that time, too. He got beat by a half a step, but he didn't give up on it. Sometimes just that hand in your face can throw off an open shot.
Newbern out on the wing, dumping it down low to Fields, and then back in the corner, there's Scram.
And again, Fields probably could have forced a tough, bad angled layup there, but instead realizing, and then Scram doing his part, not standing still, but moving without the ball, finding an opening on the baseline, knocking it down.
Back to a 5-point lead now for Armstrong. And Berg tried for the steal, didn't get it. Good job by them by not kind of folding up when Maple Grove closed the gap on them.
And not doing anything, special or trying to do anything extraordinary. Just running their offense.
And let's see who's this off of Armstrong. They thought it was off Stang's leg.
I'm going to have to agree with them.
Barnes will come in. Newbern will get a breather here. A little over 5 to go, and Armstrong now up by 5. They've scored 5 straight after Maple Grove tied it up. Here's Stang for an open 3, and he hits.
And they ran that same play in the first half, getting that wide open look underneath out of bounds. At the top of the key. Good execution, a huge shot. Yeah, these big players are making big plays in these big games. That's what you love to see.
Kemple will keep it moving over to Scram. Tough shot there and in and out.
I love watching those two go at it, right? They're about the same height. Contesting everything is Leliberte. Tough shot. You'll live with that one if you're Maple Grove.
Vidia with Fields on him, little
Nice
pick
pass.
and roll, and
Yeah.
Leliberte gets the layup.
Great pick and roll, and I'll tell you what, I thought Videa that time didn't have an angle, and he was able to somehow get it high enough to get over the defender, but not too high to go out of bounds. That was great execution, great pick and roll.
So 5 in a row now for Maple
It's just
Grove
this
as they
back,
tie it
yeah.
up.
Just when you think Maple Grove's about to maybe take a control of the game, Armstrong answers. Looks like they might kind of run away with it. Maple Grove answers. Been back and forth, but a lot of fun.
Good playoff prep kind of game, I think, here for these teams.
I'll tell you what, I bet all these players would much rather this than be practicing on a Monday night.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said playing back-to-back, I think coaches and players probably have different viewpoint on that. Players wouldn't mind if they played games almost every day rather than practice. And I think at this point in the season, too, practice can get old. I mean, I think the good coaches are going to vary things up a little bit, probably shorten it up a little bit.
It's more preparation, right? It's more scout and tightening up, what you're going to try to do to that game. You're right. You're not conditioning as much. You're not scrimmaging as much. You're more film work, more preparation. But the worst, Jay, where when you'd have that Tuesday off and it would be a Monday, right? You didn't have a game till Friday, and your coaches would definitely think conditioning was in order. Those are always the tough ones.
Back in the game for the Falcons.
So 4:19 to go. We are tied up at 52 apiece here, and Armstrong see what they can cook up coming out of this timeout. Now Newbern gets it back off the bench. Here's where I don't think that's what they had in mind. a little heat check there, but not able to get it to go.
And that's one of those that Dad might have a word or two about it with him on the way home. Not a bad shot. He's a good shooter. They're just a couple feet deep there and out of a timeout. Maybe not what you're looking for, but it's one of those, if you make it, you got great confidence, and it was a great call, and if you miss it,
Vidia down to Pelbicki, bounced it off his foot, then his reverse layup wouldn't go, and here come the Falcons. Ware giving it to Freeman. Newbern wants this ball.
Yep.
Scram spun back right. Now into Kemple. And Pelbicki came over to challenge.
I don't know if he got a piece of it, but he definitely altered it. How about Freeman defending down low, though, right? Giving up size and doing a great job of just not giving anything easy.
Stang on the drive, found Vidia. Open three, and it's good. Crimson lead.
And Vidia that time did a great job of rotating down to the baseline for an outlet. Nice drive, great kick.
Yeah, you just kind of want to slide with the dribbler so that you're in his line of
sight. So
sight.
He can see you, yeah, exactly. So he doesn't leave his feet and turn. It can be a turnover or it can be a great play like that.
Scram trying to answer, and he does.
He does a great job of getting himself open. And again, you see how quick he gets it off. He doesn't need a ton of time, but comes off those screens ready to shoot. And when he's locked and loaded, it's going in most of the time. What a response.
Really good ball game here tonight, 55 apiece. Vidia looking to attack.
I mean, you just don't see a ton of drives, do you?
And Pelbicki was fouled there.
And Ware that time had to help out, and you know what? When you're giving up that much size and height, you want to make sure you foul him, that he doesn't get a shot off. Smart foul. Good roll, too, by the big fella.
2 for the Crimson.
Pelbicki tried to give his team the lead back here as we're tied at 55.
He's got that good touch. I remember watching him as a youth player growing up in tournaments. He always had nice touch. See Coach Schroeder maybe trying to talk about some moving screens. As a coach, you're always trying to get that edge, right? The plant a seed.
Maple Grove back in front now by 2 with 57-55. Here's Newbern flashing into the middle, powers it up and in. Stang said he hooked me there, but the referee just shook his head.
And they've gotten to that a couple times here in the second half, Jay, trying to isolate Seth Newbern down low against Stang. Just if he can catch and go right up, you see he's got the length and the explosiveness to be able to score. They like that matchup.
Under 2 to play now.
Yeah, both teams seem to always have an answer for the other one.
Lydia giving it up. Stang, little pull-up jumper, and it is good. Crimson back in front. Stang having a heck of a second half.
And so efficient. That's not easy, too. Sprinting to your left like that, not fading away. Nice touch.
Important possession. They all are now, but Armstrong really needs to match what Maple Grove's been doing. Here's Newbern, the catch, and a blocking foul. Vidia trying to take the charge. Pelbicki, I think, will get a clean block, but no, it looks like it's Pelbicki who will pick it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like Vidia might have been there planted, but I was going to say, I didn't think they called it on him.
Newbern to the line, and free throw is good.
You can see rip through here.
Yeah, it was actually Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson.
But Pelbicki did look like he got some arm there. I didn't really see it that way the first time, but only gets 1 out of 2 though, so Armstrong's still down by 1.
Yeah, no need to foul yet. I think you just play good defense. Timeout Maple Grove. Definitely want to take some clock here. But I always think if you can get a good look, you take it. If you can get a layup or a backdoor, you take it. You know, run some clock, but if you get a good look, you take it. If not, you force Armstrong to start fouling you. And if you're Armstrong, you're thinking, let's get pressure defense. Let's see if we can't get a turnover, create some offense with our defense. And then you have kind of a timeline. If it gets to 30 seconds, then we foul, and then it becomes knowing who to foul.
And interesting down the stretch, Armstrong, the next foul will put Maple Grove in the bonus, but Crimson have only committed 3 fouls. Yep. So if it would happen that they fall behind, then they're probably going to need to take a few fouls.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, but if it turns out that they need to do that, then they might need to. Oh, yeah, with Armstrong right now, I think that they're wanting to not allow Maple Grove to be comfortable passing the ball. They want to make
you're trying to deny things. You're trying to maybe trap if you get a chance, but this is where the shot clock next year will be huge, right? Because it'll force a team. You don't have to foul or trap. You can just play good defense, for the shot clock. But yeah, being down 1 Armstrong, I'm just playing pressure defense. If I can get a steal or a turnover, I'm obviously going to go for it. And then at some point you have to have an awareness of who to foul and when you want that foul to happen.
Stang will inbound. Not guarding the inbound passer. Get it to Vidia.
There's a good spot to trap. Yep, great job.
And a timeout taken. I don't think that's what Nick Schroeder wanted to see. Not the timeout, but the dribble to the corner.
And that's their last timeout too. So no, that's not what you want. You got it in, but you don't want to get to that corner. But that's exactly, if you're Armstrong, what you're trying to do. Now that Maple Grove will not have a timeout left. You want to try to get the ball in the backcourt in the middle of the floor. It's hard to trap, especially when you can see a guy coming, right? It's when you turn your back and you're going to that corner and all of a sudden you have the sideline and you don't see the trap coming. That's when they're so tough to get out of.
Shout out to our student section there. Great showing for Armstrong Falcons students. Thanks for coming out.
So Crimson basketball on the baseline. They're up by a point, 1:07 to go. And again, though, out of timeouts. Got it into Stang. They double him. He just got it out of there. Newbern looks like he's trying to commit a foul there, or at least force a
there you got him.
Anderson gets rid of it. Around it comes Stang.
Oh,
Vidia just got it over. They're playing keep away now, and then Newbern commits the foul. That'll be his third. I was going to say, of all the teams that we've seen that are good at protecting leads, Maple Grove is maybe not so in favor of a shot clock, because they've been pretty good through the years at holding the ball and protecting a lead late.
That was about 3 different chances there for Armstrong almost to get a steal. Some risky cross-court passes that they were able to thread it through there, and now hitting some big free throws.
Vidia knocks that one down. And he makes a pair, but it's still a one-possession game, 61-58.
And you don't need a 3 here. You might run something to get a 3 if you got a good look, obviously. You take it, but you take a 2 here if you can get it. You just want to get a good shot, whatever that shot is. You don't want to force a bad one.
I would think Scram or Newbern are the preferred destinations. Ware will shoot it up. That one's nowhere near.
Nice box out that time by Palbicki.
Anderson fouled by Freeman.
Yeah, that's a tough one when you're contested 3 like that.
Number 23, Fitz Freeman. Fitz fourth personal. That's the 8th foul.
One of the reasons Maple Grove this year, 17-6, they're a very good free throw shooting team. That's what you got to do to finish games out.
Anderson the miss here, though.
Of course, the broadcaster jinx there. And now you're at a point where you probably do need to get a 3.
Yeah, I think it's late enough here that I would agree.
Unless you can get a layup within 2 seconds. You got 2 timeouts. You could still call a timeout. Then you'd have enough time. But here's where I'm trying to design something.
Well, here is Maple Grove still sitting at 3 fouls here. Do you strategically try and foul and work that clock down?
Well, here's what it does. Number 1, you take time off. But 2, Armstrong's coming out with a set play now. You foul him, it gets him out of that action, right? The only thing is you always are nervous if you foul in the act of the shot, right? So if you are going to go that route, you got to make sure you don't foul in the act of shooting. This is too, when you got a great shooter like Scram, this is where you maybe use him as a little bit of a decoy. You get the action kind of following him. Maybe you slip someone else going another direction and can get a better look that way. If you're Coach Schroeder right now, you're talking, hey, we cannot let anybody get a good look, especially Owen Scram. And don't forget, too, Seth Newburn's knocked down a couple threes tonight. Fitz Freeman shot okay. Temple's hit a couple outside shots. So they've really had everyone kind of knock down some perimeter shots.
They do have Fields back in there now, too, as another option. So Freeman is out. Get it into Ware. Here we go. They're down 3 as we go under 10, and there is that foul taken by Vidia, and that one was pretty clearly on purpose.
Smart.
And they still have 3 more to go. They can keep doing this.
That's his 4th, though. And you can see they're going to switch there. They don't want to. They're going to let that pass in. I bet he'll foul him in about 2 seconds.
And Stang actually almost had a clean steal, but instead they'll get a foul. But again, now you're really disrupting Armstrong. Only 6 seconds to go, and exactly what I was talking about.
And you can do it again, too. If you're Armstrong, you don't want to throw it in the backcourt. You got to get something to the 3-point line here on the out-of-bounds play. Good timeout there.
And if you're Armstrong right now, it's just the situation that it came to be with Maple Grove having so few fouls. Now, do you tell your guys if it looks like they're coming to foul you, you launch a shot even if you're 40 feet away? But
you know how these last ones have gone to the backcourt? Now I'm running a play where it's a catch and shoot. Don't give them the chance to foul you, and if they do foul you, hopefully then it's on a 3.
Yeah, you're right. The plan of attack in terms of getting the ball in has to change now.
Yep.
With this
and
little bit of
at
time.
this point, you can't take a 2. With 14 seconds left, if you got a quick 2, you still have a shot. Now you're definitely going for a designed play for a 3.
Yeah, and I mean, in an ideal world, you'd like to give yourself time for an offensive rebound, another chance if you miss too, where we're getting to the point where that's going to be tough. See if Scram, he's going to be the inbounder, and you wonder if something might come right back to him.
Yep. The only problem with that is you risk, again, a chance for Maple Grove. They got one more foul to give before Armstrong's in the bonus.
To Newbern and then back to Scram, but he's well defended and it's blocked. Knocked away. Let's see, we get another foul call, I think, on Maple Grove, but there's only 0.5 seconds to go.
Maliverte again with that length. That's been a fun matchup tonight. He did a great job. That's risky, contested on a 3.
To the corner, Scram, and no good. And time will run out on the Falcons as Maple Grove will pull out a 3-point victory on the road here as they get a 61-58 victory. A good basketball game here. Armstrong played an outstanding first half. And after Maple Grove caught him and passed him, they battled back, and then it was back and forth down the stretch. And they don't get the outcome they wanted here, but I thought Armstrong actually played a pretty good basketball game for a team that hasn't had all that great of a season overall. But Maple Grove gritting it out, getting it done on the road here. And a solid performance in the win for the Crimson, and same for Armstrong. And a lot of things to like in this one, though they don't get the outcome, of course, as they wanted. So win number 18 this season for Maple Grove. They'll pull it out by a score of 61-58. We got 3 double-figure scores for the Crimson, with Stang netting 18, Palbicki 15, and Vidia with 13. And on the other side, Newbern and Scram, who've been the top scorers for Armstrong this year, each with 17 points. And it turns out to not quite be enough for the Falcons, though, as they'll fall to 8-16 with a couple of games remaining this season. Let's go down to Ryan. He's with Henry Stang of the Crimson.
Well, I'm with Henry Stang. Henry, you guys are down 11 at half. What a comeback. What was different there in the second half?
I mean, we just need to get back in the flow of things. Rough week, no practice, nothing much. But once we got in the flow in the second half and had a halftime talk to know what to do and what to change, then we came out strong.
Yeah, I thought defensively, you guys gave up some easy looks in the first half. You guys locked down in the second half. No easy looks. You contested everything. Was that something Coach Schroeder really emphasized there at half?
Well, yeah, he was getting pretty upset with how we were defending. He's a big defensive guy, and 37 in first half was not good.
It's funny, he was not a good defensive player back in the day.
I could tell. I was seeing that from practice, but we completely changed our schemes from first half to second half, and it clearly helped.
Now let's talk about you. It was just smooth offensively. Great poise, great pace. I mean, what is your key to having a big night? 18 points tonight, some big ones there down the stretch too.
I mean, just movement. I mean, I'm not a guy that just like ISO ball all the time. It's just keep the ball moving, run through the plays, use screens, just moving and just open shots. It's crucial for me to get those threes that I hit.
Yeah, and you lead the team at 12 points. You have someone else at 10. I mean, a lot of well-balanced, team-oriented. Do you think that's what makes you guys hard to defend, is there's not one guy you got to shut down?
Yeah, we usually have a guy that, it's not always me, it's someone else every single game that could get like 15 points a game, just 12, and it's just really nice for us as a team.
All right, what do you guys have to do to finish the season off strong, get into the playoffs, playing your best basketball?
Just keep practicing hard. I mean, I love what we're doing. We had a little bad stretch in the middle of it, but now we're back strong, and I feel like we're ready to go for sections.
Awesome. Well, congrats on a good game and a big win tonight.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Back to you, Jay.
Thank you, Ryan, and congratulations to Henry Stang and the Crimson as they get a victory. Really good ball game here tonight as we head down the stretch of the regular season. Your final score in this one again, Maple Grove 61 and Armstrong 58. For all of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Plymouth.
Suburbs.